welcome back. I am super excited to be here with the one and only FAB FLY FANCY Tierra. Now, before I bring her in and tell you all the accolades that she has, not your everyday t-shirt brand, let me show you this sweater I have. Now, she's going to hate every part of me showing this, right? But I have had this sweater for over 3 years. Now, where have you been? Where you can buy a t-shirt or a sweater that, and when I say, baby, I get some good wear out of this. Entrepreneur, boss, creator, CEO, visionary, curator, and mogul and leader. That is who we have here with us today. Yes. All these things and more, Miss FAB FLY FANCY, featured in all the places and all the things. Listen, I'm going to let her tell you her story. Welcome in, Tierra.
Yes, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Okay, but Christi.
Yes.
First of all, Tierra, you're our first guest. Right, so we've been at this thing since the beginning of the year, and we've been doing our duo episodes, right?
Right.
Coming out of the content creation or the podcast summit,
baby, yeah, that was
that we went to over the summer. Shout out to David Shins, and the podcast summit was amazing. So we started thinking, it was like, you know what? We do the thing. We do what we do, right? We talk business strategy all day long. We do what we do, but now it's a time for us to start bringing in amazing guests so that we can tell your story, so you can tell your story, and so we can really dig into, how you got there. So I'm super excited just to know that we're turning a new corner, right?
Yeah, and what a perfect, so as a former educator, yes. I was a teacher, then I was a coach of teachers, then I was an assistant principal, and that is part of your story. You were previously a teacher before you built up a 7-figure and I don't want to downplay, because I say 7-figure t-shirt brand because that's what I know. Is that what you consider your brand to be?
Well, we're evolving, so we encompass more than t-shirts now. So apparel brand. Okay, that's the correct way to do it. So tell us about, who were you before you built this apparel brand that's now a 7-figure name, company, apparel brand? Who was Tierra before this? Tierra was a teacher who just had a hustle in her. I've always had a hustle in me, because before I worked part-time at Phillips Arena. So outside of teaching, I always did things to, drive a little more income. So I worked at Phillips Arena, which is State Farm now. I did that for like 9 years.
Okay. What did you do there?
I was a concierge. So just, working in the suites. And
wearing all the hats and running around and doing all the things, right?
Okay. Yeah, pretty much, yes. So I did that for almost 9 years. And then I also did makeup as a side hustle. So the hustle has always.
Now we know where the little one gets it from. Before this episode, before we started airing, we were talking about your daughter,
right,
and how she is all things creative,
all things FAB FLY FANCY, all things FAB FLY FANCY. Yes. So when I had her in 2017, things had to shift. I could no longer, go out and do my side hustle. So I had to find something that I could do in-house. And
so did you have any options? Like, where did the idea to start an apparel brand come from?
Well, so initially it was just something. So basically what happened was when I had my daughter in 2017, I was buying onesies off of Etsy for her. And it was like, Peyton has arrived, Princess Peyton. And on Etsy, I was paying about, once I shipping and everything, I was paying about $25 per onesie. Per onesie. Wow. And so I was like, you know what, I wonder if I could do this, if I could make it. So I literally just Googled how to make, a t-shirt or something. And I realized that they were doing it with a Cricut. I said, okay. And realized they were doing it with vinyl. I said, okay, well, I done spent $200 on these onesies. I done bought. So this machine costs $200. I could just go get the machine and do it myself.
And I will say, so I'm late to the Cricut game, but it has evolved.
It has
the evolved. One that I have, it's like the light blue one. I think it's like Cricut number 3 or 4 or something like that. But that thing has evolved. It is doing all the things.
It has.
So yeah, we definitely gonna get to that, because I know this 3-year sweater that I held up didn't come from no Cricut, did it?
That one did.
Really? I don't want to give away all your tricks and trades, but I've seen people with Crickets and they t-shirts. They're not doing this.
Laugh or don't look,
You went to Etsy.
Right.
You found the problem. The problem was you were spending too much money on something that your creative self could do
Right.
on your own.
Right. I said, once I realized, I said, no, they didn't charge me $25 when they done bought a 3-pack of onesies for $9. And then basically the little bit of vinyl on a baby tee cost $1. They done made a $20 profit off me. So I said, I'm going to do this myself.
Right.
Yeah. And so from then I was like, okay, well, I made the onesie. So now let me see if I can make me some t-shirts. And I started making,
So did anybody else ask you to make onesies for their kids?
No, what happened is that's how the business started.
Okay.
I made myself a breast cancer t-shirt in 2017 for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay.
And then once I wore the shirt to school, then they started asking for the shirt. Next thing I know, I probably sold about 25 shirts. I was like, oh, I got a new hustle.
So did you know how to? Okay, so when you get to school and you have your shirt on, how did you know what to charge them? I'm like the first person who came to you and said, oh, girl, I want one of those.
So basically, I still struggle with pricing sometimes. So
To this day?
To this day.
Okay.
So I charged them $12 for that shirt because I was like, I just don't believe in overcharging people. But $12, that wasn't worth my time. I probably lost money because the shirt was nice. It had glitter on it. And to this day, I still see some of them in that shirt.
Shirt. Wow.
Your shirts last, baby. I'm telling you.
So I only charged $12, but really that probably should have been at least a $25 shirt.
So when did it become the $25? Like how many shirts did you sell at $12 before you realized this is not worth?
I just gradually started going up. So initially for a while, I only did 15. Okay. So I did shirts for 15 and then I changed to 20 and I just kind of gradually went up with my prices. But I actually, so once I started selling the on to the teachers, then I was like, okay, well, I wonder if I could sell on Etsy, right? So those same shirts that I was selling to teachers, I put them on Etsy.
Okay.
And so, I put the baby onesies on Etsy, and so I realized that market was saturated. Nobody bought not a onesie, initially. And so then I said, okay, well, I'm gonna put the teacher shirts on there. Nobody bought the teacher shirts. I mean, 1 or 2 people bought them, but then somebody was like, can you make me a Black Girl Magic shirt? And so I made her Black Girl.
This was from somebody from Etsy?
Somebody from the school was like, can you make me a Black Girl Magic shirt? So I made her a Black Girl Magic shirt, and then I just put it on Etsy, and then it was like, ding, ding,
oh, wow.
ding, ding,
okay.
ding, ding. Then I was like, oh, I got a business.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
they started buying that shirt. Like, it really took off, and I started making a little money.
Okay, so I remember going on your website, like the sweater I even showed is a sweater that was specially made for me. Because I remember sending you a message, you was like, well, I don't do special orders no more, but I will do this one for you. So what was that switch? Like what happened in your business where you're like, yeah, this special order stuff?
Okay, so I always say you got to pay to play. And so you got to learn from the people that are doing what you desire to do.
Right.
And so I paid for a class. And that was done with a Cricut. So I was doing all this with a Cricut for months.
Weeding and them say that was
all my I literally had to run home from school and start these orders, and I'm weeding all day long, all night. Got a baby running around the house, and I'm just weeding.
And don't put the vinyl on the wrong side.
Right. So it was just a big mess, but I'm doing it because I'm like, I'm making money doing it. You know what I'm saying? This is so I started so from there, when I took a course, I learned, I said, oh, they using transfers. They just putting I said, oh, okay. And
now, what's the difference from a was it Cricut to transfer?
Yeah, so when you use a Cricut, you're basically cutting out vinyl, but when you have a transfer, they have it's on a sheet of paper, basically your design, and you literally just have to put the design on paper and press it, and within 7 seconds you got your shirt. And what was taking me, like literally each shirt would take about 20 minutes, it's taking me 7 seconds.
That's the trick of the trade. I literally remember because I ship out orders, right? And I actually about shipping out your orders too, because I would ship out orders and I was putting one piece of paper into the print. It was a regular printer, Canon from Target for like $45, and it had 2 labels on it. And I'd put one label in, then I had to take it out and then turn it over to use a second label.
Okay.
And now I have one of those things where you hear the noise and, and them things just rolling out.
Right.
And I was like, and what happened for me, I got frustrated. I was like, I can't keep doing this. I was working full time. I don't have time for 50 orders to print one label, turn it around, put in another one, print another label. It was taking me too long.
Right.
And it was either quit this and find something else. And I was like, I know people who are selling way more. There's no way they're sitting here putting in one thing and flipping it. And so I went and asked them, and it was like, oh, we buy this Rolo printer.
Yep.
And you just put it in and they just, and it just print all out in like 2 minutes. And I was like, game changer.
Right.
Game changer. That's the thing. You got to ask people that are in the business that know, and then you got to find ways for you to get your time back. Time is your most valuable asset.
I like that. Get your time back. So pay to play.
You got to pay to play.
Pay to play.
You got to learn from who's already doing it.
And you said something earlier before the show that, you have a circle of people that are in the business and that you can, I guess, share industry knowledge and stuff like that. So how do you guys keep it from being, quote unquote, competition to this is how we're just going to share information and grow together?
It's just the mindset. It's just a collaboration over competition.
Yes.
Mindset that you want to see everyone win, It's just the mindset.
Now, did you start this group or
No. We actually had that particular group. We did the challenge. I think it was the Don't Rush Challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we have a group chat on Instagram where we still communicate about things that's going on related to our industry.
So the Don't Rush Challenge, like a TikTok
that's where
challenge?
Back in the day when they had during COVID where you threw the shirt or we threw shirts, you know, but it was kind of
like,
like
a group of y'all and like.
And
it would just like bounce to the next one.
Okay.
Yes. So how did you how did y'all even get to the point where y'all were together to do the?
We wasn't together.
I mean, not physically together, but like, how did y'all connect?
One of the brand owners, she orchestrated it.
Okay. Cool. I like that. So then you went from making specific orders, then you found the Black Girl Magic took off. Now, like looking at your website, like that tends to be like your market.
Right.
Now, so how did that become your market? Or how did you feel comfortable with? Because I know some people will say, don't niche down. You're leaving out millions of people. You're only doing Black Girl Magic or going to that market. Then there's a whole millions and billions of people. You're leaving money on the table. Like, I mean, you have a 7-figure brand, so it's working.
And I'll be honest and say that is my struggle. That's my struggle right now, because I do have a shirt where my primary audience is not buying it. Like, I feel like another audience is keeping me afloat.
Okay.
So that is a struggle and something that I'm dealing with right now as far as how to go about, being more inclusive. But at the same time, I got to 7 million, I got to $1 million
with my
core
I was going to say, so is it a problem or do you just? I mean,
I don't see it as a problem.
Yeah,
I don't see it as a problem.
Yeah, because I mean, look, if it's not
broken, don't fix it.
Right.
And you have that whole. There's a whole nother line out there. I mean, they pretty much primarily target HBCUs, right?
Right.
And you got to think about out of all the people that go to college, I mean, HBCUs is a small percentage, but baby.
Right. So I know that Black women, they are my core audience. Specifically between 35 and 55.
Okay, so let's go ahead and dig into
that.
So one of our, and actually I think we talk about this on all of our episodes, is basically how like your mindset is going to help propel you in this in entrepreneurship, right? So when you actually kind of have a similar story to Christi as far as being an educator, just wanted to make a few extra dollars, and then now it turned into like Google searching.
That's definitely my story,
right? And it just turns into your main thing now. But what was one of the main things that you had to get over or adjust within yourself going from being, you know, an employee and an educator to I'm running my own business and this is what I'm going to eat off of? And I'm going to tell you this. So I was stalking you a little bit on Facebook.
Okay.
And you put out you shared this memory back when you did a video and you were asking people like, can you find me, or you needed the job, or you were asking about, you know, finding a job.
Right.
And then you was like, and who would have known a year later, I didn't need nobody else's job. I am the job. That was so inspiring to me. And I was like, okay, so what was that shift? Because you went from, again, doing your thing, but looking for a job. But now you went all in, baby.
Right. Okay. So I'll say this. So I know the video that you're talking about, and that was 2020, February 2020. And I was literally at my wit's end with teaching. I was just like, this is not for me. Teaching, if you don't know, that is like it is the hardest job in America.
And you were good at it too. You were good at it.
Yeah. And so I taught elementary, so kindergarten, first, second. I've taught it all. I was having a challenging year. I wasn't happy. I had just kind of lost my passion for it. And I just wanted a way out. And, you know, I was open to doing whatever else.
You was like, friend, find me the job. You got a job, send it.
I just want another job. I don't want to do this. Like, this is not it for me. You know, I'm not happy doing this. It was so challenging. So I hate to say it, but then, so that was February. March, COVID came.
Shut everything down.
Huh?
Shut everything down.
Now I got time. I got time.
That's the worst thing they can give an educator.
COVID is like such a horrible thing, but COVID literally changed my life. Like, because I was at home, and so really I wasn't making any money off the business, because I was like, ugh, it's COVID. They ain't about to buy nothing, because, you know, we don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen in the world. And another girl, collaboration over competition, she messaged me and she said, are your ads on? And I said, nah, girl, ain't nobody spending no money. And she said, turn your ads on. I already made $10,000. I said, you made what? I said, you turned the ads on. Why did you She was like, turn them on and set them up right. Oh, I said, that night, after I got off the phone with her, she had also given me the course that I needed to learn how to run ads myself. And so I literally was, that night, I still really don't, I do ads. I've done ads, but you know, it could get a little technical. So literally I was pecking on the computer that night, like, okay, this is what he said do. This is what he said do. This is what he said do. I probably finished at 2 a.m. Like, okay, I probably started about 7, 8. So I go to sleep and I wake up. I look at my phone. I said, what in the world? Like,
wait, overnight? Less than 24 hours?
That when I woke up, I had sales that I didn't normally have. Wow. I said, okay. So that month I made $10,000 like she did. And I had never made $10,000. I was making 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I was happy. Right. You know, because I'm like, I got a full-time job. Right. But I'm getting 5,000, 6,000
on top of that.
On top of that, like, I was good. Yes. But then I made $10,000. I said, okay. Wow. And so then the next month I did like 20. Oh yeah. I was like, okay. And so then I'm working with these ads. I'm turning them up and, you know, doing everything. And then I couldn't get past for 2 months I couldn't get past about 20,000. And so I said, okay, and you got to be in the groups, you know. I seen somebody else that posted the person that did their ads, and I said, let me go to him and, you know, see if he could do my ads. And, you know, I went to him, and so he started doing my ads maybe July 2020, and we still work together. He texted me on the way here. We still work together today.
Pay to play, baby. Yes. And then we're Facebook friends. So I sent you a message because I was pregnant. I was like, who does your ads? Oh, wow. So I used her person to do my ads because I was pregnant and I'm the face of my business. Yeah. And so I knew I couldn't be the face, and I still wanted that money to come in. It was during the pandemic. I used your person, and he helped me soar through that pregnancy for real. So pay to play, knowing when to hold them and when to fold them,
and know when to let the experts do what it is they do, right? Because you can get yourself as far as you can get yourself, but thank God you had the mindset of let me reinvest some of this money back into my business. So
to get to the next level,
right. That was amazing. So now, but I want to know though. Because it had to be some like inner work that you had to do to be able to, again, go from relying on education money coming in and all that to just solely relying on yourself and your business. What
I'll say that was probably one of the hardest decisions of my life because, like we talked about earlier, when you tell other people, your vision and things and, they don't understand or don't see it for, because when I started making, more money and I was making way more money than I was making at the school, I was telling people, that I'm thinking about quitting to do this full time, and they're like, "No, don't quit your job. What you gonna do for retirement? Don't quit your." Everybody was like, "No." I had a couple people that were like, "Okay, that's what you're gonna do." Okay, but and then
teaching will always take you back.
Yeah, that's what I said. I still got my certificate, so if need be, I could still roll. I can still get a job, but it was. So when I started really thinking about I was out during COVID, but I had so many, orders. It was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to be a mom, go to work and do this business. There's no way. So I started preparing by saving my money, you know? And so I saved a significant amount of money, like more than my salary, to where if I just needed
in the same boat.
That's a teacher in there. That's the same thing. I had a whole full year of my assistant principal pay put away. I lived off my business for my last year in the school system and put my job pay
so
away.
Basically that's what I did. I just stacked the money, and then I was like, okay. When they said it was time for the teachers to go back in the classroom, I said, well, it's been nice. I appreciate working here, but, I'm going to go ahead and resign. And so during COVID, I never went back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, so would you say that you left the school system on a good terms, or they ain't hiring you back?
I could get a job back.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think it's important. We never know what the future holds. Right. And not that you'll ever, because at this point, when you build a 7-figure brand, a 6-figure brand, you make $3,000 a month. Right. You have enough knowledge that you could literally teach other people. And as an educator with that skill, you could teach other people and never actually have to go back into a classroom to be an educator at this point.
So that's where I'm headed next.
Okay, that's a great. That's what I was going to ask. But I know you start off as a t-shirt. Now, before I go to that, the question I had though is when you go from however much you were making to a $10,000 a month, because you said like 3, 4, or 5, then you had a $10,000 a month, and then next month you had a $20,000 a month. How do you handle, or how did you handle that increase in need from your customers? Because, $3,000 you probably were handling by yourself. Right. Yeah. And $10,000 you may have been handling by yourself. But what did $20,000, what did that leap look like in a month's time?
It was all hands on deck. I was calling, hey, you busy? Okay. You think you could come help? Like, literally calling friends, like, please come help me. Like, please. Like, for a while, that's what I had to do. And then I had talked to my neighbor one day, and she was like, hey, mom's at the house. She's not doing much. She can help you. Oh, wow. And so that's my full-time.
That was your first employee?
That's my full-time employee. Okay. To the, even now. But up until, I just had to figure it out. I was literally a solopreneur for so long. And when the business was in that house, I was always working. I just always working, day, night, like always.
Now you said when it was in the house, so that gives the idea that it's not in the house anymore.
It's not in the house anymore.
So when did that change? How did it change? Where is it at now?
Okay, so it became a bit much because it took over the house. Oh, everywhere. Like packages everywhere. The
living room looks like a storage closet.
Right. I had a room for it, but then it grew out of the room.
Yeah. Right.
you know, so it grew out of the room. And that's when I was like, ugh. I started calling around Atlanta trying to find a space. And it was so expensive. I was like, you know what? I got this house. I got these tenants. They're going to have to find somewhere else.
Oh, so you had a rental house.
I had a rental property.
Okay.
Yeah. And so.
That's a good way of using it, though, because, that's instead of going out and renting a space, take something that you already own. And again, you're not making the revenue from what you would be making from, you know, a tenant.
Right.
But you have your own space. And you said it's a townhouse, so you can cook there. You can, you know, shower if you need to. Like, it has all the things. Right. So, yeah.
Now, finance, because when I heard you say that, I was thinking finance, business write-offs, and all that kind of stuff. So I know one of the things you were saying your next step was, do you have an accountant yet?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I try to do, you know, that's one of the things. Okay, I'll say that is one of the things that I do struggle with is letting go of control. So
I hear that all the time.
And so I want to know where my money go. You know, I'm doing a lot of it, but I do have someone that helps.
Okay. Because one of the things when I built a building.
But I need to turn it over to someone else. Like it's way beyond me. It's been beyond me. But I haven't turned it over completely.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so she's in the market. For anybody in the comments, want to throw down your accounting services.
Preferably somebody who's managed e-commerce.
Right.
That's really important.
That's the thing.
That's the key.
That's the issue is somebody really understanding e-commerce. Yes. So that has been my issue with finding someone.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get to the celebration because you have something to celebrate, baby. Yeah. You are 5 years in the game as of August. What is it? What's the date?
Well, it's technically June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Well, we're celebrating this month.
Yeah, we're celebrating 5 years in business.
Yes. So, what does that look like? So I know you started off with t-shirts. Now let's talk about what else you have going on in there now.
I've evolved, you know, growing into a full apparel brand. So we offer hats, accessories, and also now cosmetics. So
okay, so that lip gloss that you're wearing, baby, is that?
Yes. This is FAB FLY FANCY. Yes. We have a long last
Fly Fancy.
And this color is so fancy. So it's a long,
and it is so fancy.
Thank you. It's a long lasting matte lipstick.
She's been drinking water.
Right.
You haven't gone nowhere.
Right. Yeah. It is all. Yeah. Once it's on, it's all day. My aunt called me like, Tierra, how you get the stuff off my back?
Oh, well, how do you get it off?
Oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna order me some.
Yeah.
I meant to send you a message before you came. I was like, I really meant to send you a message like, can you bring me some of that pink?
Right. Yes.
So, that's my biggest. I was like
water and just trying to rub it off is not.
I need that.
That's
in my
dope
life.
though.
Yeah, I need that.
Yes,
for
good
sure.
product. Yeah. So the reviews have been wonderful.
Speaking of reviews, so I was on your FAB FLY and Fancy website, and one thing I noticed that just overwhelmed me again. So I come from the e-commerce world. I've dibbled and dabbled in that world. Your reviews, you get a lot of reviews. What's the secret?
Well, there's an app within the website that gives them a coupon if they leave a review.
But your people are taking their pictures in it. You know, so like, you know, when you go onto like Amazon or maybe some of the...
I never do it on Amazon. I even got a gift card that said if you leave it review, it's still hanging up on my refrigerator.
Yeah, and I don't leave reviews.
I have two $50 gift cards.
That's just hanging up.
That I haven't done.
All you got to do is do a review.
All you got to do is do a review. So it's working for her.
So people with like huge brands and, you know, things like that, I can maybe understand why they would want to put on the shirt and, you know... And definitely you're a huge brand as well, but it has to be something that you're doing because...
You know what? I'll just say this. The people that my return customer rate is high.
Okay, then that's good to know.
Yeah, I feel like if you support me, you buy from me, I'm going to give you...
I got 3 sweaters over here, baby.
I'll say this. I'll give good customer service.
Okay.
And like my customers have been loyal for the past 5 years. Like I looked at, you could tell how many times people have purchased. I have people that have made 30 purchases and, like.
You have a plug-in on your site too. So I put one thing in the cart, but baby, it says frequently bought together, and it gave me another 3, and I could push one button and it's those things. It's those things. It's the systems, and I'm not sure. You know, one, I know you use one of the biggest platforms. Your website is hosted on one of the biggest platforms for e-commerce, and I always tell people if they're going to go in, if you're serious about going into the e-commerce business, that is definitely the best platform to use.
Right. Shopify, is that the one that you use? Yeah, mine's on Shopify too.
But let me ask you this, and then this may have come from like your friend group circle. When you're looking for these different plugins and apps and things to use, how are you keeping or staying in the know about what's really working and like what you should be using? And
I'm always learning. So you like on Instagram, I follow people that are, like I said, they're already where I'm trying to go. And so when they drop or suggest apps for your store, I go Google them and read about them, and then I try them out. And that has worked. And even when they have little ebooks that they sell for e-commerce, I go buy them, and then I go in the things that they say plug in to your website, I plug them in.
And I still think you're on Etsy now, right?
Yeah, I am on Etsy.
So is that still a big part of your business, or
it's a minute part?
Okay.
Part now, but Etsy is a self-run machine.
Once you put it on there,
once you put it on there, I still probably get sales daily from Etsy. Not like as much as my website, but they're on there. But I always suggest people to start because the visibility with Etsy is so much more of a farther reach and a free reach because they gonna move your stuff because they
get a percentage.
They want you to sell so they can make money.
Their percentage, which is smart.
Yeah.
So can you do ads and stuff on Etsy?
You can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah. So I run probably a little, maybe a $3 to $5 ad on Etsy.
Okay.
Every day, and then, but when I was really on there, like a lot of my stuff would come up high in the search engines. Like if you Google Black Girl Magic shirt, my shirts from Etsy would pop up.
Oh, dope.
Like they would be one of the first ones to pop up.
That's super dope.
Nice.
So outside of being online, do you go outside? Are you at the vending events?
I do
Are you
vend.
in boutiques or like what?
I vend, but I kind of quit vending. And I do it a little bit, but I hate to say it, but these days they charge so much to vend at events. Sometimes it's not worth my time because you charging me $1,000. These days they charge between $900 to $1,200 to vend. So I got to make $1,200 out the gate,
right, just to get that back.
Yeah. So and then I got to be there all day. So sometimes I'm like, it's not worth it. I could just So
put
some of put out an ad and make that money. But some. I still do some, I'm open to vending. I got a couple vending events coming up. I know I'm doing Sip, Shop, Eat.
Is that at the not Pittsburgh Yards, Chattahoochee?
No, it's at, I think is it the Black Building, or I can't remember.
Okay.
But.
Well, they're at the place that you said you were at last night, the Chattahoochee Food. They have on Wednesdays. They do. They let vendors come in for free. Okay. So it's not one of those, and they get a pretty good turnout.
Okay, we'll see. I'll have to look into that. Free sounds really good. Like I do a event at Coke pretty much every year, and it's free. I love that. I just go in and I make money. And you have places where you can go for 50, 100, 200. I want to stick to probably 500 and less.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your follow-up game as far as with your customers, the follow-up emails you send? Because I still get the emails with the discount, percentage off, and all those things. Going to a free event and getting some customers with your repeat rate you have is good business because it's not just a one-time purchase that they're making at that event.
Right.
They're like second time, third time, fourth time customers. That's things to look at too, is that one vending event for you, because you have the systems in place, isn't a one-time purchase. You're going to get more from that one-time event. So if it's free, that's even ice on the cake.
Right.
So that's good. This has been,
I know.
I'm going to go back and listen to some stuff because there's some 10-second clips. What is it? Pay to play. That was great.
Okay. Yes.
And there was another thing you said. I was like, oh, that's good. I like that. So I'll definitely be going back to catch this episode. FAB FLY FabFlyFancy.com.
Yes.
Get the matte lips. Get your head wraps, because that's one of your.
No,
that one isn't. Okay,
no.
okay. So I do know you have different head wraps.
I do
Yeah.
have some turbans and hats.
Some turbans,
and
yeah, and some earrings,
a
and
little bit of everything. One stop shop. I'm trying to get that OV up, which is average order value.
Well, I was about to say, you got to break that down.
break that down.
Yeah. So
No, wait, tell us what it is again.
your AOV, which is your average order value. So I want you to come on there and spend more.
Right.
And it has worked. So lately they come on there, they get a shirt, they get some earrings, then they grab some lipstick, and then I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Upselling.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where can we find you outside of your website? Where can we find you online?
Instagram, all platforms, Fab Fly Fancy. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What's the new one?
Threads.
Threads. Oh, Threads.
Yeah, I'm on
yes.
Threads.
Okay. Do people we still on Threads?
They on there. I get
Okay.
notifications. I'm not on there. I mean, I have a page, but
I
I
have
don't
a
do anything
page.
over there.
Well, like for that
do
first
it,
week,
though.
it was hot.
Yeah.
So I was like, are
There
people
are up
still-
to 1 million people on there, though.
Yeah.
wow.
So it's worth being on there. People are there.
People are there.
Yeah.
They are.
Yes.
But I'm not really there, but I'm there.
Oh yeah.
I think as long as
Yeah.
you have a landing page, as long as you have an ability. It's like when they first, what is it? Everybody was buying up the online
The
virtual
domain.
housing
Oh.
or whatever, the virtual
yeah.
housing
Mhm.
space
Yes,
and the
yes.
virtual paintings. Like, just get in the space, reserve
Right.
your spot, reserving your name is a big thing.
Yes.
Anytime they open up anything new on social media, go ahead and reserve your spot,
Yes.
so that if it blows up, your name is already
Secured.
and
Yeah,
safe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you use it or not. So
Yeah.
that's
So,
definitely dope.
but my primary, I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
Instagram is probably where you're gonna get, everything.
Awesome. Well, we're excited. Continue to grow and continue to glow.
Okay,
right?
thank
You're already
you.
celebrating 5 years. That says a lot
Yes.
about your industry. I'm sure you have seen people
Come
start.
and go. Oh, we all know
Right.
t-shirt people who
Right.
come and go,
Come and
for
go.
sure.
Right. So definitely something to celebrate. And anything that we can ever do for you, please reach out. Because like I said, this is we friends now, girl.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming, and definitely drop in the comments some nuggets you've taken away from Tierra with Fab Fly Fancy, and we'll see you back here. Hit that subscribe, like, love, all the things, and you can find us at the Convene Team right here on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Facebook.
Yes. Number 1 in the books.
Yeah, which is great. It's a great interview. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.